thank you for joining us today. I'm sure there's a few of you joining both sessions, but we are delighted to have you along today and really excited to be offering another opportunity for you to take part in both the Microsoft Office Specialist Programme and the MCE Programme, which our launch event is later on this afternoon as well. So with me today we've got Jenny Sutton from Microsoft and Sarah Snowden from Prodigy Learning, and Louise Foreman from the team as well is in the background helping out, making sure everybody's getting in, and if you've got any problems, feel free to say hello in the chat. If you want to say hello to each other and say that'd be great, happy to do that as well. What we're going to do today, as quickly as possible, we've left a little bit of a gap between the sessions because we did run over the last time, so we're just going to make sure that we have enough time for questions at the end as well. So just a bit of a welcome from me, then we're going to go into the most important bit with Sarah. In fact, no, we're not. That's a slight change. We're actually going to pass over to Jill first, then into the session about Microsoft Office Specialist, and I'll get a bit of an overview of that. Sarah will also give you a bit of a run through of how the exam and the practice process works, and also tell us a little bit about next steps and help and support that you can get during this time that we'll be running in here. So I'm not going to talk for too much longer, but what I wanted to remind you of was that all the tools that we'll be using here you can access via Glow, but you might also want to access them on your desktop. So you can, as you probably know already, you can download Office for free in there, as can pupils. You might also be able to access these already on your computer at home as well. So I think that's something just to remember at that point as well. And I think that's probably everything from me, and I'll hand over to Jeremy for the next section.
Thanks very much, Kirsty, and I'll echo a couple of points there, just to say thank you all for coming along today for what is our second test fest. But before I go into any of that, many of you I won't met before, but I work at Microsoft as part of the education leadership team, and I lead our strategy and engagement for education in Scotland, and that's with everything from how we innovate to what we see available on Glow, how we help with digital transformation strategies in schools on the ground, and of course looking at how we support skills development for pupils and yourselves, and hence why I'm here today. So again, thank you for coming along. I think it's really exciting for us to be able to run another test fest so soon after the one we run at the end of the last academic term. So there were some great results there. In total, I think there were over 300 of you that signed up. We had over 172 of the past exams, which was amazing. And the vast majority of those, well, I guess in terms of popularity, we have the MCE sitting at the top, with MOS in Excel, Word and PowerPoint coming very closely after that. So it's clear they have huge relevance. We are really privileged to be able to support and fund these programs so that you can really make the most of the Microsoft programs to improve your professional development, and we just want to make sure that you continue to do so that we can continue to invest in these programs. It takes a lot of time and effort, so I think it's a big thanks as well to Sarah and for Kirsty and Louise for helping to pull these together. There's a lot of work that goes in the background, but hopefully over the coming few weeks you go through the training and of course the exams. I'm sure many of you will pass. You'll get to see why these exams are so brilliant, and hopefully they'll help you for your learning in the classroom. So thank you again, but I'll hand you over to the most important things, which is all the stuff that Sarah's going to take you through now. So if you've got any questions for me, feel free to shove them in the chat, but otherwise, Sarah, over to you.
Okay, thank you very much, Jill. Okay, so I'm just going to go through a little bit about Prodigy Learning. We actually mainly a certification organisation, and we look after certifications for Microsoft, Adobe, Autodesk, but we also do credentials as well, like coding in Minecraft and digital literacy, and we also actually supply platforms to learn how to do these things, and that's what we're going to be going through today. Backwards. Okay, we are based in Dublin, London, Sydney and New York, so we're kind of spreading our wings quite a bit now. And yes, my name's Sarah Snowden. As from Prodigy, we are a Microsoft Global Training Partner. I'm the Digital Skills Specialist with Prodigy Learning. I'm also an MIE expert and an MIE Master Trainer as well. Well, that was for 21-22, but I'm sure with everything that's lined up for me this coming year, I'll be getting that badge yet again. Fingers crossed. Anyway, so I just want to go through a little bit about Office, first of all, about the different certifications, and I'm going to talk you through how you can actually access the training materials, practice, etc. So first of all, just to give you an idea that obviously Microsoft Office comes in a number of different flavors. So you've got things like Word, you've got PowerPoint, you've got Excel, and all of these are going to be very helpful for you as an educator in the classroom. I used them personally when I was in the classroom. It really does help your confidence, and it also helps you to support your learners as well in lots of different ways. Some of them will be more relevant to some teachers than others. For example, the first one I ever took many years ago was PowerPoint, because I used that an awful lot, and the one I put right at the bottom of my list was to do Excel, where I had the other colleagues who wanted to do Excel first of all, and it's absolutely fine because each one is a separate certification. It's an individual certification. Now, the learning resources we've got for you covers the whole journey, and it's suitable for anyone to complete, whether you're an absolute novice or to somebody who's a regular user of some of these programs as well. The difference lies in the time that you'd be spending in the actual learning resources. Novices are going to benefit from the time spent in the learning resources, which is Learn Key, to get the theory under the belt, and anyone will benefit from the time spent practicing those skills to achieve the competency that you need to actually then take the exam. I just want to show you kind of the hierarchy of these as well, because I know from last time we had quite a few teachers who went on, first of all, they just wanted to take one certification, they went on to take 2 and then 3, and what they wanted to do was actually reach that master level. The example I'm giving you here is showing you at the bottom level, which is the Microsoft Office Specialist, and that's kind of the entry point for everybody: Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook. If you achieve 3 of those, you would get your associate badge. The expert level is the next one, and that's available in Word, Excel, and Access as well. And then that gives you this overarching badge of a Microsoft Office Specialist Master as well. And I know I've already had this morning a couple of people that have wanted to book on to do the exams because they're just one badge away from getting that Master, so that's really exciting. You do get a certificate, an official certificate as well, and you also are able to start sharing your success digitally as well. Okay, so there's a digital badge that you get, and all of that can access, showing people exactly what it is that you've actually had to cover. To get these exams, you'll be able to use them on your LinkedIn profile. I know putting them on a CV is tremendous as well, because if you're going for a job and you put in there that you've got excellent skills in Microsoft Excel, etc., how do you actually prove that? Where if you've got a CV that actually can link out to those badges, it's a completely different story, because you can show that badge, you can flash that badge, and also that badge can then link to show a prospective employer exactly what it is you're able to do. So it's a brilliant way of proving what you can do, as well as giving you the confidence to be able to use those tools. So how do you get to that certification? We have a tried and tested learning path. We've got a learning solution, which I'm going to go through in detail with you. We have got a practice test as well, because, for many of you, it might be the first time that you'll have been sitting an exam for many years. And it might be a very different mode as well, because it's an online exam. So it's worth doing the practice test, because it lets you have access to a system that replicates the live exam. You'll know exactly what it's going to feel like as well. And then obviously going on to actually sit the certification exam. So I'm going to go through all these one by one to explain. We have set up a Microsoft team that is going to support you. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to actually talk through this team with you now. So I'm just going to move this team over so I can start sharing. Kirsty, can you just confirm that you can see the actual team now?
Yes, I can.
Brilliant. Okay. Okay, so this is the Microsoft Office Specialist team. You can see we've got a number of different channels, and I'm just going to talk you through these channels. So the first one is just the general channel, and it really is just giving you that little bit of an overview of MOS. Again, just what I've been talking through as well. But you've also got links out to the other channels, just in case you don't see all the channels in the menu on the left-hand side. But the first part we need to look at is the training materials, because that's what's going to give you the knowledge to actually take these exams. So if we go to the training materials channel, and I'm going to scroll right to the top. Oops, not quite up there. Okay, so I've put a number of different announcements in here, and I've locked these so that you can't, so channel 1, 2 and 3, you can't actually ask questions in there. You'll see that we've got a separate channel for you to be able to ask questions in, but this is really just to give you the information. So the learning paths available, as I've already said, you've got in the Microsoft Office Specialist, you've got Word, you've got PowerPoint, you've got Excel, and you've got Outlook as well. And you pass any 3 of those, you will get this extra badge, which is the MOS Associate. Now this is the path for the 2019 version. It's slightly different for 2016, and you'll see that you can actually link to the announcement that explains the path, which is slightly different. It's just a different combination of exams. So once you've got your associate, you can go on to take expert. So expert's available in Word and Excel and also Access. If you've got your associate badge and you took 2 of these expert levels, you would then receive your MOS Master. And say this is the route for 2019, slightly different combination for 2016, but the other announcement will explain all that to you. That's just giving you an overview of the paths. Now for the actual training resources. So the training resources is actually, I'm going to just switch my camera off then. I'm not looking at different screens to what I'm actually using. Let's just make sure I've got that back up. Oops, wrong one. There we go, got it back again. Okay, so the training courses is through a program called LearnKey. Okay, and LearnKey video training is for MOS. It's powered by a platform called Gmetrics. It's all self-paced, it's flexible. You can access the video training, but you must first of all register for a Gmetrics profile, so you actually get that other platform, which I'll talk you through in a moment. If you've already got a Gmetrics account, then obviously you can go straight in there. And that profile can be used on the Gmetrics system for the practice exams as well. You'll see that there's going to be video-based training, there's interactive labs, you've got study guides, you've got pre and post assessment available, you've got online workbooks you want to do, there's a glossary, there's a whole host of different resources. And obviously, depending, how much experience you've already got of an application would determine how much of these different resources that you would actually use. You will see there is a link here as well to a video that will talk you through. I am going to talk you through it all again now, but just in case you forget, you can link out to that video as well. And to access all of these, you need to create this Gmetrics account. So that is our next announcement, and this is about signing up for the Gmetrics account. So here is the link. That's going to take you to Gmetrics. You need to fill your details in and click on the sign up here. Don't use the sign in with an existing provider options that come underneath that. That's very important. Do the sign up here. It's just purely the way your Office 365 with Glow accounts are set up that you'll need to do it with that sign up here button, not through choosing this. Okay. You complete your registration form. Once you've completed that, you'll be able to download some software to your computer, which is, you'll see a little icon like this. I'm just going to swap back to this other slide a minute. Okay. So when you download it, you've got the option for doing it for Windows or for a Mac. Now, if you're not able to download it, if your machine's locked down, you can't do that. I'll explain that you can still use it through the web, and I'll show you later on exactly which version of the things you'll be able to use as well. So it's not like it's completely off the cards if you can't download things. I know we had one or two people last time. Find the right slide deck again. No, it's my team I want up. Let's move that over again. Okay. And you will need an access code as well to access the material. So you need to create your Geometrics account. You need to take this access code and put it into the Geometrics account to actually be able to unlock. And I'm going to talk you through where you would put that in and how you would actually redeem. I'm going to bring up Geometrics Live so you can actually see this for yourselves. And hopefully, which screen has that gone to? There we go, we're on the right one. Okay, so you've created Geometrics accounts, you've logged in. You wouldn't see anything here when you first log in. What you would need to look for is on this left hand side where you say redeem. You click on that and you would put in that access code that I've just shown you in the team. Once that's been put in, it's actually going to unlock the courses for you. So we've put in here the actual 2016 and the 2019 version. So you need to navigate to which version of Microsoft Office application that you want to take. Okay, I'm going to concentrate on the 2019, and we'll just have a look at the Excel one first of all. So this isn't the Expert, this is just Excel, just to show you what this is like. So I'm interested in taking the Excel. Okay, and on the left hand side you can see you've got a number of different options. The first screen that you come to is a glossary, and it's got these are key terms that you'll be need to get used to that are going to come up through the actual learning resources. And it's important that you do get some of this terminology under your belt, because when you come to the exam, if you don't know what a certain term means, you're not going to know how to answer it. So there's flashcards that you can use. Out of these, you need to tick off which items you want. You can create some flashcards on it. There's a memory game and there's a quiz. So if you want to kind of just play around with it like that, you can do. But to actually start the learning content, these are the different domains within the learning content. So the first one is managing worksheets and workbooks. And if I drop the arrow down there, you will see it's broken up into lessons. And if we looked at the first lesson, that lesson has got a video and it's got a workbook in there as well. If I have a look at the second one, you see that actually this has got a video. It's also got some exercise labs and it's got a workbook as well. So if we go to the video, okay, that I didn't show my sound, but that is starting to talk to you. You can see that you can navigate through the video as well, jump into different sections. You can also play it full screen. You don't have to have it in that little window. You can actually have the full screen, so obviously it's a lot easier to see that information as well. It records exactly where you're up to. You'll be able to go back in at any time, so it is a matter of being able to dip in and out every time it is available to yourselves as well. Now the labs, let's say, look at that in lesson 2, the exercise labs. Okay, so here, if you have managed to download Geometrics onto your system, you'd be able to use this top one that uses the SMS system. And that means that you're going to be practicing in a live application. You're actually going to be using the version of Office that's on your device. If you haven't been able to download the Geometrics onto your device, if you've got it too locked down, you can still use it, but you'll have to use it in browser. Okay, so just a point there. So you've got it downloaded, it's the top one, you can't download it, it's the bottom one that you would use. We would encourage you to go through these exercise labs so you actually do get that hands-on experience. It's not a matter of just, watching some videos and listening to somebody. And definitely need to, it's broken down into little chunks. You need to be aiming to get 100% in those exercise labs like that. If you want to kind of, test yourself a little bit further, close that one out. You have got the student workbook, which is a PDF. So those include fill out blanks, different projects that you can use just to make sure that you're consolidating the information, but you need to download the PDF workbook. It opens up in a PDF reader and then you're able to actually fill in your answers in there as well. Okay, and the last part of it is post-assessment. So this is a closed book test on that particular domain. So it's not like the practice test, it's not on the whole thing, it's just on that particular domain that we've been looking at. So if we think about this, that we've been in the domain of, managing worksheets and workbooks, you've got a post-assessment that is just going to test you on that area there. And you need to be looking at getting about 80% when you're testing on a domain, just to know that you're absolutely on the right track as well. 2016 version, very similar, again, just slightly different. You've actually got some pre-assessment in there as well. But that is kind of, what's in store for you if you're on the 2019. So I'm just going to come back into the team here. Again, you've got the video that will talk you through that as well in here. So if you need to recap, you can actually go through that as well. And if you've wanted to know what the pathway is for 2016, this last announcement in this channel will actually explain the difference between those two for you. Okay, so you've been doing the learning and now you need to do a little bit of the practice test. So if we look at this channel now for the practice test, I'm going to scroll up to the top again. Okay. So with the practice tests, although you've had that kind of post-assessment for each domain in the Learn Key to give you the best possible chance, we've got access for this geometrics practice test, which actually replicates the exam for you, so you know exactly what it's going to feel like. It is a live application testing system, so it's giving you the best experience. So although you see a question on your screen at the top part of the window, it's still talking about, say, Excel, will be Excel that's on your device. Okay, so obviously if you're doing the 2019, you need 2019 on your device as well. You will need another access code to actually unlock these practice tests. And we've put that in here. There is your access code that you would need to put in. It's the same way. I'm just going to bring back up the geometrics again for you. So it's exactly the same way. You do redeem key, put in the other access course there, and that is obviously for the practice test. Okay, the practice test I'm just going to take you through. So if you go in here and we say a new test, it's going to ask you, obviously I've put the access code in here so that I've got access to 2019, 2016 or the MCE. Go to the 2019, I have to actually pick what do I want to have a practice test in. So I'll stick with Excel, I'll go on there, and then we've got a number of different options coming up. So that's what I want to actually talk through with you. What are these different options? Because that was a question we got. Everybody's saying there's a lot there. What do I choose? So I'm going to talk through those with you. So if you read something that says practice exam, okay, that is the live in application version of the practice test. So it's the truest replication of what the live exam will be. It means that you're going to be given a number of different projects with questions on each project that you complete in that live application. There are 2 banks, bank 1, bank 2. So you can do them as many times as you want. You're going to get a different set of questions coming up in there. You've also got ones that say simulation. So simulations are a representation of what the live exam would look like, although you're not actually in the live application. It's for somebody who can't actually have, you know, the version that they want to take the exam live on their machine. They can do it in a simulation, and it's a web-based version. But it still gives you the projects, etc., but it's just a simulation of that. Then you've got skills reviews that are available. Now, skills reviews, it's an opportunity for you just to kind of review different skills, presenting them in any kind of random order. They're not in the project format. So it doesn't represent what the live exam will look like. It's just kind of random number of questions coming at you. Okay, and then there's a skills review that's same kind of thing, but it's actually put out into a simulation again. And this is a beta version, the trial test, so I wouldn't even bother with that. However, what I did want to point out to you when you go in, so I'm going to be looking at this practice exam. If you look at it straight up, you'll see that you've got 2 modes. You've got a training mode and you've got a testing mode. If you're in the training mode, which I'll just open up now, sorry, I haven't downloaded this one yet. It'll start up. When you're in the training mode, it will mean that you have got access to help and you're not timed. Let's just come up on my other screen, so I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to bring this across. Let's have a go. Anyway, okay, so there's my live application, and no, it's not letting me bring this across. Oh, well, never mind. No, okay, I'm going to just quit out of that one anyway. Okay, just go back into the new test again. Explain again. So I was trying to open this one up. It's come up on my other screen and I can't move it across. I do apologise. But the training mode, it means you've, as I say, you've got access to the help. You get a little light bulb that you can click on. It'll tell you how to do it if you don't know how to do it. It's still put in this project format, but you're not timed at all. So I would suggest you use those first of all, because it means that you can get an idea of what the exams are going to feel like, but you're not got the pressure of time. Once you're happy with that, I'd move on to the testing mode. The testing mode is exactly how it would be in the exam. You have got no access to help, and also you have the timing, so you've got to do it in the time that's given there. So it really does prepare you for that live exam. So I'm going to move that out the way. So all that is in there for you. From then on, you need to book your exam. So the exam week with the test fest week is actually in line with the Scotland Test Fest. Is part of the Digital Literacy, Scotland Digital Literacy Week. So the exams are going to be taking place 3rd of October to the 7th of October, but you can actually book straight away. So you can put it in your mind, that's what I want to do, that's the time slot. These are the time slots we've got available that week. Monday to Thursday, we've got 4 time slots. Friday, we've got 3 time slots. You'll need to book through this link. It's like, if anybody's on the call who did it last time, it's slightly different because this time you do have to identify which exam it is that you want to sit before you actually take it. There's some information here as well of what you need to do before you sit the exam, which is very important. You do need to create yourself a Certiport account. Just click there, that will take you through to register. You do have to register that you're going to actually want to take a Microsoft certification, and again that's there. There is a link here to take you through that whole exam guide as well. You will be sent a URL link to the virtual testing system between 24 hours and 1 hour before your exam. Okay. So it might come out just an hour before your exam. This is an online exam. You'll be using an online system. Please don't try and log in before your exam time. We have to get you logged in from the back end, and it's about, it takes a few minutes to actually get that set up. So don't, come 10 minutes early because you won't be able to get in. That information is in here as well about what actually happens on the time. So, 5 minutes before you can come in, but no earlier than that. And what we would please ask you to do is, once you've passed your exam, is really shout about it and share your experience. Make sure that you hashtag the events and also tag us at Cert Matters as well. Now, as you're going through this, you're probably going to come up with different questions that you want to ask. There is this channel for questions and answers. The only thing I would ask is please use the @ sign when you're writing a question, otherwise we're not notified that you're actually asking a question. So if you use that, it will draw our attention to the question a lot easier, and we do aim to try and get back to you kind of within 24 hours to make sure that you're on the right path and we're giving you the answers that you want. Okay, so forward. So if anybody's got any questions they want to ask now, I'm happy to take them. Does anything come in the chat at all?
Nothing in the chat, Cedar.
Okay, that's fine. All right. Well, I shall hand back over to Kirsty then.
Great, thank you. I'm going between two computers, so I've currently lost the mouse on one of the 4 screens in front of me, but there we go, I found it.
That's exactly what I was doing as well.
Two laptops and 4 screens, never a good idea. So thank you, Sarah, that was fantastic. Just a couple of slides here just to remind you, if you are wanting to look at on DigiLearn, you already know, I'm sure, about DigiLearn, but on DigiLearn we do have some kind of pathways that you can go and have a look at what we already have, kind of tips and hints about the different tools that are there as well, so please remember to use those as well. And then the next slide we've got is about Glow Connect. If you are looking for some different things, if you don't know about Glow Connect, go and have a look on there, because there's some helpful things in there, particularly about Microsoft, obviously, but also some other information if you're looking for certain things about Glow that's more about the technical side in there as well. And finally, I've got a feedback form that please feel free to scan. I'll send this on as well. But what I'm also going to send on to you, I'll send on links for the recordings for today. I'll also send on links for joining the team for today, so that you'll have all of that, and please feel free to share those with others who've maybe not managed to make it today. I have already done some of that already, but please feel free to do that so that we can have as many people as possible taking advantage during the Digital Literacy Week in October. So really excited and really pleased to have everybody here. So I think that is everything, unless I've forgot anything, Sarah, you'll know. A big thank you to everyone. Thank you, Jill, for coming along as well, and Louise for helping out as well. So thank you very much, and thank you to all of you lot for taking the time today.